Couldn't fire his glutes later.
Matt Hayes.
I'm not running over the Barnett Tower and heaving myself off.
And Leon Searcy.
Now, you come across that middle, you have some meat on your bone.
I feel like it's appropriate. Normally I start the weekend with a little Corona call on Thursdays, but here we are on Friday, Tres de Mayo, and it's also a perfect time to just yell out a little as we are celebrating Tres de Mayo, a 3-day weekend. You can start on Tres, you can carry it into Cuatro, and you can finish on Cinco, or you might just keep going. I'm not sure, but we say thanks to Corona. They are hanging out with us as we are at Cinco de Mayo restaurant, which is real easy to find. 130-170 Atlantic Boulevard, and we're one of the, you would call this a corner post restaurant with a nice little patio outside. Willie and everybody here, they got it all going on. They got great specials for you. In Corona, of course, you can wash it down with a delicious Corona, put a lime in it. We will have more than one Corona call it today. Leon Searcy and Matt Hayes. Mm-hmm. More than one Corona call it today.
Multiple Corona calls.
Exactly.
Yeah, in honor of Corona.
I'm looking at his margarita list. Mm-hmm. Nice, sweet.
Yeah.
I'm sure people are going to be consuming that later.
The funny thing is, I don't know what the drink of choice. Like, I love Corona. You guys know that I usually refer to me as a Modelo man. TLD is a Corona chick, but she loves the Corona Premier. You just got all the great flavors, that's for sure. So I would think I'm going to have, 14, 15 tacos over the course of 3 days.
Right.
Okay. And maybe the same number of Coronas over the course of 3 days.
What protein are we talking about? Just strictly seafood?
I love it because you can mix and match, and I love the carnitas. There's no question about it. I love that slow-cooked pork. And then you can go with the chimichurri pork. You can go, of course, with the either the grilled chicken, the seasoned chicken. I don't mind the seafood. I don't, man.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, they got a couple of good menu items here to go with those cold Coronas that you can enjoy at Cinco de Mayo. So this restaurant is named in honor of the biggest day when they celebrate throughout the course of, this is an American holiday as much as it is a Mexican holiday. Listen, my family, my mom's family, they all enjoyed their Mexican origins. Rodolfo and Carmen, my grandparents, they came across the border legally way back when, and then they moved from Southern California slowly all the way up to Northern California. So from L.A., to San Francisco, to Sacramento, to Chico, and then Hamilton City is where they ultimately had 10 kids, including my mom.
And then we commandeered their holiday.
Yeah, exactly. And we decided to take it over. So it is as much, I swear, an American holiday. But my Uncle Cocaine, my Uncle Max, all of them, they would be having a big time today, that's for sure, or actually this weekend. So we got plenty to get into, and we're going to keep it going with your Jaguars draft. Why not? All right? We can easily look at a few other things outside of the NFL, which we will do with the college football world. Kind of the end of the transfer portal has come. May has started. We're going to start taking a look at some storylines in the college football world. Last night, you had the Sixers eliminated by the New York Knicks. It was a great game. It really was, right down to the wire. We'll look at the rest of the association as well. But today is like kind of a shift your focus day for us because we've gone from last Thursday to this Thursday. You've had this time to look at your draft. We drafted the entire team again yesterday, our all 22. And now let's look at the AFC South. Who did what in the in the offseason? Who did what and who won the draft in the AFC South? If you take a look at the Indianapolis Colts, the Houston Texans, Tennessee Titans. And you could probably do a little math and take a look at – we know the Houston Texans won, it seems like, that offseason free agency period with the big names that they brought in.
Oh, listen, the Jaguars will never admit it, but they've got their evaluation sheet on the division. Mm-hmm. They've been scoping them out. They've been looking at who the guys they've been drafted because essentially when it gets to the playoffs, first, the easiest way to get to the playoffs is through the division.
Right.
Now, for the last couple of years, not the last couple of years, just last year when we I don't know if we skated through the division, but we kind of dominated the division in 2022, thinking next year, 2023, we're going to come back, we're going to do the same thing. But I'm happy that the division is a little tougher. I'm happy that they're making some head because if they're good, we'll be good. Iron sharpens iron. But you got your evaluation sheet as far as the Colts, the Texans, and the Titans. I want to see what they got as far as players and personnel go.
It's interesting that a year ago this time we're talking about how this franchise is going to run the South. It's theirs for the next 6, 7, 8 years with Trevor Lawrence in charge, and
it was such a good
look
feeling.
how quickly it's changed. And it's not just because of C.J. Stroud either.
Right. It's primarily him.
It is, but you can see Anthony Richardson developing. They're putting together a solid team. The Titans are on their way back. If Will Levis becomes a legit starter in the league, they're going to be a problem too. So I think it's good. I like it. I wouldn't want to run away with the division. I want good, important division games in December. In November. I love those games. Those are the games you remember.
Oh, hell
those
yeah.
Those are the games that are everything.
Yeah, look, I want those. I want the AFC South to be slugging it out like a lot of the great divisions and great rivalries that we've come to enjoy in the National Football League. But I also want to be on top of it, okay? And there was an opportunity to be on top of it this year, and it did not happen. And, it was a big bite in the rear end, and I do believe it was as much C.J. Stroud, it was as much DeMeco Ryans just constructing something special down in Houston, and now you got to combat that. Anthony Richardson, we hardly saw him, okay? We really didn't see him, and it was Gardner's club once AR decided to shut it down. And remember,
we saw him.
I know.
He's got some game, man.
Yes, but just remember this. The initial part of that shoulder injury happened when he was leaning in on, I don't even remember what the
he's got to learn. He's got to learn. That's all.
Inside the 5-yard line.
Yes.
And by the way, as we sit here and talk about, I believe it was Darius Williams. Darius Williams made one of the most important tackles early on in the season by stopping AR from getting in the end zone. So here's what they did. Okay, the Colts, 15th overall. We know that they were a couple of spots in front of Jacksonville, and we all have our opinions on what they should have done. If you like what they did, but the bottom line is there were edge rushers right there. There were cornerbacks right there. And Jacksonville traded out, went and got Brian Thomas, 23rd overall. So, Leatu Latu, number 15th overall. Then they go get Adonai Mitchell, the wide receiver, with the 52nd pick. And Chris Ballard comes out and chastises all of those in the media that said that AD had a bad had a strike against him, and therefore he was tumbling down the draft board. But you know for sure Chris Ballard's pretty damn happy he fell to 52nd. So he gets a edge rusher, he gets a wide receiver, then he goes with Concalves, the offensive tackle, which Baloo and I said hello to at the ACC kickoff. That's a big kid, talented kid. He goes in the top 80. So that's an offensive lineman that they added. They go and get a center in the next round. How about that? Offensive tackle and center in the third and fourth rounds. They come back with a wide receiver. They come back with their whatever. They're rounding out their picks. They get a defensive back from Auburn, a linebacker from Missouri, defensive back from Marshall, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so real quick before we get to the rest of them, what do you think of that? How do you think they did?
Their first, the pick that they had was Latu.
Yeah.
I mean,
I love it.
Just give up like Latu. You can just give up and just say Latu.
Well, hey, listen, Joe. When they came to the pick, they had needs: safety, corner, wide receiver. But that guy falls to them.
Yeah.
And they couldn't pass on it.
Nope.
So, I think they made a hell of a decision. I mean, they added to their arsenal as far as getting after the quarterback. They understand the quarterback situation in the division. You got Trevor, you got C.J. Stroud, and you got Levis. So, I mean, I like the welcome addition as far as getting a guy that they didn't necessarily need.
True.
But they got a good quality player in the mix.
And they still got big DeForest Buckner.
Yes.
Okay, so if you get him on the inside working and you get Latu on the outside working, and they had basically put a wish list or a sheet together of the must-haves, how to help AR, how to make sure that they're better defensively in the division. And, when you're combating these quarterbacks, there ain't nothing wrong with that, going and getting an edge guy.
They added Raekwon Davis in the middle as well.
Yeah.
In the interior. They kept some key components, including Pittman. I think they had a nice offseason.
Mm-hmm. Well, all right, let's get to Houston Texans because, again, we said that they basically won the free agency period of the offseason. When you're bringing in Danielle Hunter,
Yeah.
Danico Autry, Joe Mixon, trading and getting Stephon Diggs. You can go on and on down the list. That's a big pull. There's no question. So then they get into the draft. They don't have a first-round pick. They go to the second round. Kamari Lassiter is a guy that we talked a bunch about out of Georgia. He was the 42nd pick overall.
He's Tyson Campbell. They're the same player.
Yeah, he was one of those cornerbacks that when you're coming up on 48 for Jacksonville to make a selection, Kamari was coming off the board. Let me see if I have this. Coming off the board. Hey, John Party, you got to collect our napkins here. We're going to need those for later when we start to dig into those nachos, man. Okay? Listen, make sure you keep track of it. John Party's running it here as far as our engineer. And it's good that we have a party as an engineer when we get ready for our Cinco de Mayo party here on Tres de Mayo at Cinco de Mayo restaurant.
So, like you, I assumed, like, Kamari Lassiter would be a nice fit here.
Yeah.
He and Tyson Campbell are very similar players. I don't care about the Georgia thing. You can have two Georgia cornerbacks. That doesn't mean anything, okay?
Right.
I think it would have been a nice pick there for them, and didn't happen. But I like the fact that that's what the Texans did.
Yeah.
They realized, look, you got to score, and you got to keep guys from scoring.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
And look, the draft was crazy at that point. Picks 40 through 43. 4 straight cornerbacks came off the board. All right, Cooper DeJean, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Kamari Lassiter was the next, and then Max Melton from Rutgers. So it happened in a minute now. It happened fast. So Texans, second-round draft pick DB, third-round draft pick offensive tackle out of Notre Dame. They view him as a developmental player.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah, but he is. And, look, we mocked him. I had Blake Fisher on my board. I know you guys did. A third-round pick, Caleb Bullock, defensive back.
Fast as heck.
Out of Southern Cal.
He's very inconsistent.
Okay, but
that's can run.
That's 2 DBs in the first 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and then the next pick I love.
Yeah, Kate Stover.
Steal the draft.
Yeah.
I love Kate Stover.
And this team didn't need a tight end, but going and getting a guy, and as they said, they immediately repair him with C.J. Stroud.
And he's also
as a Buckeye.
Right, you didn't see what you could have seen from him last year because Kyle McCord really didn't play that well. But, man, Kate Stover is a big dude. He's a fast and athletic dude, and I'm telling you, he's a perfect tight end for the league.
And they've got Dalton Schultz down there too.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys, if you take if you take a look at the AFC South, you looked at your board a bunch between last Thursday and today. Now look at the Texans, Titans, Colts, and hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. It's 641-1010. You can get on the YouTube chat. All you got to do is go to YouTube, search 1010XL. You can get the MyBookie Digital Studio. Party, you clear up our focus. Did you make us look good? All right, we look good now. All right, so you can go and search 1010XL, and you can throw a comment in there because I want to know what you think. This is what you have to do, Leon. You got to beat the AFC flipping South. That's what you got to do. And so it's basically you look at recruiting classes in college. You're looking at your rivals' recruiting classes, right?
It's no different than absolutely. It's no different than your recruiting class.
It's not.
All right, you got to add to your arsenal. I mean, the Jaguars, all these different teams within the division, they're looking at each other's roster. They're looking at who they drafted. You know, and so and then it's a counteraction to what you draft, I draft.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
If you're going to get a first-round wide receiver, guess what? I'm going to get a DB to cover. If you're going to get an edge rusher here at this position, guess what? I'm going to get a tackle that's going to block them. So, hey, listen, there's a little back and forth when it comes to the division between teams.
Right, but also if you're really talking about the Texans and the two corners in the first 4 picks,
yeah,
they're also looking at Jacksonville saying, that team's going to throw the hell out of it.
Yeah, got to deal with Kirk.
And we got to deal with them.
Yes. With Brian Thomas.
Absolutely,
100%. And so that kind of answers that question because 2 of their first 3 were in the secondary, and then they come back after the tight end selection, get a linebacker, then they get Jawar Jordan. I like Jawar Jordan a lot. Running back out of Louisville. Talk about a kid. And quick story that Jawar Jordan related to us when – they had the change up in Louisville, and I'm drawing a blank. Scott Satterfield. Satterfield. Whenever he exits stage left and just leaves, and then you see the regime change where they bring their favorite son back to coach up the Cardinals. Well, what does the new coach do? He throws it all over the yard, right?
Well, that's what Rom does. That's his offense.
Yeah, and that's what you would expect. But the head coach immediately went to Jawar Jordan in the offseason and said, "Bro, don't leave here. Don't leave. We got a plan for you." And Jawar Jordan played well last year. He really did. And I thought Brom got a lot out of him as far as just basically keeping that running game alive in a passing system.
He ran hard, too.
Yes, man. Yes. And so he's a good player. And so you finish out 7th round. They had 3 choices. They go defensive tackle, defensive end, and guard. All right, so the Texans, how high of a grade in the offseason, putting both of those things together, what they did in free agency and what they did in the draft?
Free agency, I mean, everybody's giving them an A+ in free agency as far as going after Stephon Diggs. Look, they look good. It looks good on paper.
Yeah.
It absolutely looks good on paper. As far as drafting goes, I give them a B. I mean, right now they're the team to beat. I mean, they're the last team to win the division.
Yeah,
so
you're right.
we've got to add to our arsenal to make sure that we comply to whatever they're getting. But you know what? Also, let's not get overboard. I'm not crowning them. Let's stick to our game. Let's stick to our needs. What we need to focus on.
Yeah.
This rush, these plans to combat with the Texans. I mean, listen. We've just shared the division with them the last 2 years.
Yeah.
All right. So I mean, crowning them right now is just too early for me.
Here's another thing too is I'm going to agree with you on that to a point. First off, I'd give them an A- considering the free agency and the draft. But I will also say this: you're now looking at 6 months where every defensive coach in the league, and more so in the AFC South, is watching tape on C.J. Stroud and trying to figure out how to beat him, how to slow him down. So it's going to be incumbent upon him and that Texans offense to change and respond to how everyone else responds to him. So then it becomes, now you've got Ryan Nielsen here. What does he do then to affect C.J. Stroud?
Yeah. Yeah, and look, it's incumbent upon Ryan Nielsen to figure out a plan to harass the hell out of him. Because it's honestly, it kind of goes back to Leon, you've got to answer the bell on whatever it is they're doing, and they're feeling pretty good about themselves. They go from the, quote, hunter to the hunted, and you're just going to find out whether or not they can get it done.
Yeah, your Acoy from last year, there was no chance he was coming back.
Terrible.
Because they had exposed him.
Yeah.
And it was clear they had exposed him.
Yeah. They typically – Acoy is assistant coach of the year, which I was stumping for Mike Caldwell for a while in the beginning of the year and really towards the end of 22 and the beginning of 23, and then we all know where it went. Hades in a handbasket. There is no question about
good,
that.
let's put it that way.
And so now you got to figure out how you're going to combat C.J. Stroud. And as we said, they go from the hunter to the hunted. You got to figure out what you can do. So those are two of the rosters.
I mean, honestly, Joe, it's not unlike the rest of the AFC South figuring out how to stop the Jaguars after 2022.
Yes.
And they did a pretty good job of it.
Yeah, they added pieces knowing that this team came from worst to first, which both teams that won the AFC South the last 2 years came from worst to first. So both of them did it.
If you look at Game 3 against the Texans, believe me, they figured it out.
Yeah.
They figured it out.
Well, I'll give D'Amico and them a hell of a lot of credit for patching up a bad offensive line. And you want to talk about, if you want to go back.
I mean, defensively. What they do in that game offensively, the Jags.
If you want to go back and wonder when you knew you needed to upgrade your offensive line or your defensive line, take a look at that flipping game when they had 4 backup offensive linemen and C.J. Stroud never hit the dirt. Never hit the dirt. All right, real quick. Tennessee. First-round pick, 7th overall, J.C. Latham. Look, I don't like to say bad things about right tackles because Leon could come across the table on me, okay? I don't like to bash right tackles. But number 7 overall, and you had question marks around J.C.
Yeah, I had question marks, mostly in his play in the championship game against Michigan, you know. Hey, he struggled a little bit. He's a quality right tackle. I think that the Titans might have overdrafted, and they probably got nervous because when Joe Alt went off, initially Joe Alt was supposed to go there. You know, the Titans have had issues with the offensive line all season long, whatever. They gave up like 64 sacks. I think it's like a franchise record. So, I mean, taking J.C. Latham, just talk about him being a left tackle, I don't see. He's never played the position before. He's been a solid right tackle. But move him over to the left, he can get exposed over there that side.
J.C. Latham, 7th overall. Then they reached a little bit for Tavondre Sweat, 38th overall. Remember, there were 2 or 3 cats in that Longhorn front that were pretty damn good. I don't know who was living off the other guy's stuff, but Byron Murphy, Tavondre Sweat, and then I'm trying to think of the other kid that was along the front. I think, anyway, bottom line, 38th overall. Then in the 4th round, they go Ced Gray out of North Carolina, a linebacker. Then they go Jarvis Brownlee, the defensive back out of Louisville. And then they go Jaquan Jackson, wide receiver out of Tulane, James Williams, the linebacker from Miami, and Michigan linebacker Jalen Harrell in the 7th round. It wasn't like over the top good, but
solid.
Yeah. And that's what you're looking at. All right, you guys.
It's a lot like the Jaguars. Solid.
Yeah. You guys let us know, and then we'll start comparing that to your team, and then let's just get into the overall numbers of the draft and what you can expect with your Jacksonville Jaguars. Yesterday came and went. Last day for those options to be picked up in the National Football League. So let's touch on that as well coming up. Those that didn't and those that did. I'm stealing an Andrew Dice Clay reference. His reference was those that do and those that don't. You can remember that one, that's for sure. Cinco de Mayo, we are celebrating it to start the weekend on Tres de Mayo. Corona, making sure that you have a cold one in your hand when you're celebrating. And remember, celebrate responsibly. Always designated driver. But you know how to have fun during Cinco de Mayo weekend, and Tres de Mayo is the day we can get it all started. Now, here's what you got to do. The Dave Matthews Band concert tickets are up for grabs, okay? We're talking dailies, March 29th, and Corona's hooking you up with a pair of tickets to see Dave Matthews Band live. And all you got to do is drop on by. You have to be here to win these tickets, all right? You've got to be here. So if you come rolling up at 3 o'clock, plan on hanging, but put your name in the hat, and we will give away those concert tickets courtesy of Corona as you go see the Dave Matthews Band at Dailies. It is XL Primetime. Joe C., Matty Hayes, Big Sirs, hanging out at Cinco de Mayo right here on Atlantic. 13170 Atlantic. Come see us.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Hi, this is Joe Theismann.
This is Sports Illustrated model Brooklyn Decker.
This is Donovan McNabb.
You're listening to 1010XL.
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 92.5 FM.
Mia here. The NBA playoffs are heating up, and it's the perfect time to elevate your game with MyBookie. With MyBookie, you can bet from anywhere, anytime, so you never miss a shot to cash in on a play. You can even live stream and bet on the games right from the sportsbook, giving you everything you'll need to decide, cash out or let it ride. MyBookie really makes it easy to get paid with tons of boosted props and slam dunk parlays. And new boosts are now posted on the daily. It's more than just a sportsbook. Buzzer beaters, underdog upsets, and a community to share in all of the sweats. Give yourself a head start today and play with house money using promo code 1010XL when you make your first deposit. That's promo code 1010XL to claim a limited time bonus when you sign up and make your first deposit. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie.
This is Dr. George Bari inviting you to look online at BariOrthopedics.com for the latest in medical advancements when it comes to getting you back to full joint health. After studying under Dr. James Andrews, I know proper diagnosis is the first key to treatment, and educating the patient is the fastest path to recovery. Whether it's chronic back pain, nagging arthritis, or necessary joint replacement, we're here to serve you in the best possible way. We are Bari Orthopedics, and online at BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
Certainly facing challenging economic times. I can't speak for all of us. But for me, comforting to know my money is in good hands with ITP Partners. Ticket here for ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. I'll admit it, I don't understand a ton about the economy. Higher interest rates, 401ks. What I do know as I move closer to retirement, I continue to watch my money grow. Thanks to Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, and Reed Wingate. Get in the game, guys. ITP Partners, always there to help. For more info, Chris at ITPPartners.com or call 904-312-9751.
Hey, I know we love our happy hours, but have you been to Mr. Chubby's Wings for lunch lately?
Yep, their new specials are awesome. I eat lunch there all the time.
I went this week and got wings, a drink, and chips for $8.
As usual, the best prices in town. You can't hardly find anyone doing $8 lunch anymore.
I know. I'm saving my money for the weekends with $8 lunch specials.
Save your money for the weekends. Enjoy $8 lunch specials Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. 3 locations serving you for all sports all year. Mr. Chubby's Wings, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
AC's broke, it ain't no joke. Call Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. FloridaHomeAC.com.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
When you're hungry for midday sports talk, share a table with Helmets and Heels.
It's a bad idea to travel on an empty stomach.
Mia, Lauren, and Taylor.
We like hungry.
Switched on by First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Noon to 2 weekdays on 1010 XL.
American Electrical, Northeast Florida's highest-rated electricians, is hiring, and they're looking for people to train for careers. It's not just job training. They're giving you a license that no one can take away from you, training you for jobs that are always in demand and will offer you a peace of mind financially and for the future. Once you know a trade, you'll always be employable. All the details are at American-Electrical.com, and with their American Electrical Academy, if you're selected, you'll learn the electrical trade absolutely free of charge. American Electrical Contractors, powered by professionalism.
This is Keith Catlin for Catlin Truck Accessories, and we are so blessed to be in business for over 100 years. Over 100 years of the best product and customer service means you can count on Catlin. From roll-and lock bed covers to Lear toppers to cam locker toolboxes, Catlin Truck Accessories has you covered when it comes to your truck or van. We do those too. Got a fleet of vehicles? We can outfit them all.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
One name, one location, 100 years. You can count on Catlin.
What's changed totally inside and out? The Kuhn Flowers massive storefront, and yes, they've totally remodeled the showroom inside too. This is Frank Frangie, and the next time you drive by, stop and smell the roses at Kuhn Flowers.
Josie for Preferred Roofing and Preferred Builders, along with their gutter division and drywall. It's an entire group of people that can handle a lot of construction worries, wants, wishes, whatever you might have, because they've got the people to do it. They've got the experience to do it, and they've been doing it in Duval and the entire First Coast for a long, long time. Roofing concerns, replacement, it's real. And you may even have insurance people looking, saying, hey, we're going to raise your rates. Well, make sure you get the best job when it comes to replacing your roof. PreferredRoofingJacks.com. And then for remodels, additions, brand new homes, don't forget, PreferredBuildersJacks.com.
What is the world's largest freshwater lake? The answer next.
How long has it been since you compared homeowners' insurance rates? Log on to southernoak.com to get an instant quote or find an agent near you.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Lake Superior has enough water to cover North and South America combined. It is the world's largest freshwater lake.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Wondering what you're going to do for dinner tonight? Southern Steer Butcher is a full-service butcher, and we grind and make sausage in-house every day.
Now open in Ortega. For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's a Big Hair Heavy Metal Friday on XL Primetime.
Crank it up, RJ. You got to get it going, man. You got to make some noise on a Big Hair Heavy Metal Friday. And we have got, I really got to believe this because the concert is next week. Judas Priest part of it. But Welcome to Rockville is taking place next week, May 9th through the 12th, and we are going to be cranking out all the big bands. They're going to be down at Daytona. Welcome to Rockville Festival. You can go to welcometorockville.com, and we have let's see here. We've got a couple of 4-day passes, okay? A couple of 4-day general admission passes for the weekend that we will be giving away. Not right now, but as we go along today. And we may play Greta Van Fleet, we may play Foo Fighters, we may play Stone Temple Pilots. It doesn't matter. We're going to crank it out. Some of the ones that I like, The Offspring, I love. So just be paying attention, Breaking Benjamin, whatever it might be. But if we play them and we give you the cue to call, you've got a chance to win those general admission 4-day passes. Got a couple of those to give away today. All right. The theme today is Trace De Mayo and a cold Corona. And the draft. We're going to keep talking about the draft, so you might be able to get a cold Corona on draft. That's always a good way to go to pair these two up. But it's Trace De Mayo, a 3-day weekend, and Corona's giving you a chance to win tickets to see Dave Matthews Band at Daly's Place at the end of the month. I believe, hey, party, we got March 29th on that day. Is that the date we got right there? Yeah, March 29th. And so they'll be at Daly's, Dave Matthews Band. They got 2 nights, a pair of tickets. May 29th. Woo! I haven't had a Corona yet. I haven't even had a Corona yet. Thank you. My good friend Mike's like, hey, Joe, slow down. All right, so May 29th, at the end of this month, come on in. Put your name in the hat. You got a chance to win those tickets courtesy of Corona. And while you're here or anywhere celebrating a little Cinco de Mayo, order up a cold Corona. That's for sure. Corona Premier, the boys, you know what I call him? Matt, my Corona cat. That guy knows what's up when it comes to cold beer. All right, we need to hit a that right now before we get back into the draft talk, though.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, some key news in Florida State's fight with the ACC. A South Carolina judge has ruled that within 7 days of today, the entry of this order, the ACC shall provide Clemson unredacted copies of the ESPN agreement, including any attachments, and the copy shall bear the notation confidential. In other words, it can't be shared. Now, I can guarantee you Clemson's going to share it with North Carolina.
I was going to say, I love
they're going to share it with Miami, okay? And then someone at those 4 schools, all right, including Florida State, Clemson, Miami, North Carolina, is going to release all of it or parts of it to the media.
So it's
going to get out there.
Yeah, you're telling me they're ordered not to share, but you can guarantee it's going to be shared.
Yes, because, look, there's stuff in there clearly that the ACC and ESPN don't want out there. And that's what I've been saying. That's kind of what I've been saying all along as far as, FSU people who are saying that, Florida State and the SEC is the perfect fit. You've got Florida State that is breaking up an ESPN-run conference in the ACC. Mm-hmm. They're breaking it up. So they're eliminating this great deal that ESPN has, and ESPN has a great deal with them. Mm-hmm. There's no way that ESPN, which is now the sole provider of SEC content, is going to be happy about the SEC adding Florida State. Mm-hmm. Now, it could be the Big Ten. Sure, it could be the Big Ten. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, it is funny that I don't know where this ends up. I don't know how it ultimately ends up, what tab has to be paid. But the fact that there are now, it looks like it's becoming strength in numbers. At least that's what it appears to be. And so now you got a South Carolina court. You already had a court in North Carolina, court in Florida. Now you got a South Carolina court that's stepping in on behalf of Clemson and saying, hey, you got to share all this info with them, but don't.
They're going to get out. It's just a matter of how much they're going to have to pay.
Yeah, you got to share it, but you can't share it with anybody else. It's just classic.
Which, again, I've been saying this all along. It's unfortunate, but Florida State is at the tip of the spear, no pun intended. They're at the tip of the spear. They're taking the flak. They're going to have to pay. Mm-hmm. So let's just say it's $150 million or $200 million, okay? Mm-hmm. But once they pay, the ACC, and they leave, the ACC is no longer the ACC, and Miami, North Carolina, and Clemson can all say, well, this is no longer the same league now that Florida State's not here. We're out.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And they're not going to pay anything. So that's the unfortunate thing for Florida State is they're going to be the ones down $150, $200 million, whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Matt, listen, I know you say ESPN would be upset that Florida State is breaking up the ACC, but more money is the cure-all. I mean, you still couldn't see a way where Florida State could go to the SEC, and ESPN says, you know what? Florida State comes to the SEC, it's going to ignite the conference to make more money. No? Money's not the cure-all?
No, because Florida State's not going to bring any more than North Carolina will bring. They just won't. And that's what – I understand Florida State's a bigger football property. I get all of that, okay? But they're not an overall sports property like North Carolina is. Mm. So I think you have to look at this thing from a 30,000-foot ceiling here. This is literally, if it gets down to, okay, it's either Florida State or North Carolina, there's going to be multiple things involved, including the SEC's not in the North Carolina market where they want to get in, and Florida's here in the Florida market, and Florida does not want another team in the Florida market.
Yeah, by the way, that is the Atlantic Coast Conference hitting that backup button. Okay,
right.
that is the
right.
ACC,
there's
All Coast Conference.
There's a lot going on, and also there's more going on with pay-for-play, with shared revenue. Because at some point, there will be teams that don't want to invest the type of money it's going to take. All right? It may take $20 to $25 million annually to pay players in all sports. And there may be universities that say, I don't want to do that. And if they drop out, then it's a different story.
Right.
Then you're looking at, all right, well, we want X amount of teams, and we're going to get the best teams we can get. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying this team or that team is going to opt out. Let's just say Vanderbilt says, I'm not willing to pay $30 million a year to have teams. Or Mississippi State says, I'm not willing to pay $30 million a year, to do that. I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying, let's just say that it happens. Then you're going to see some movement. then I think the idea of ESPN telling the SEC there's no way Florida State's going to the SEC is different. That ends right there then.
Yeah. I don't know what the end of all this is going to be. I do feel like we are getting closer and closer. And by the way, Greg Sankey and these guys are now once again taking a look. Did we swing too early with some of the decisions that were made by these conference commissioners? I don't know, but this is going to be continued discussion for a while. That's for sure. All right, before we get back to the draft talk and the Jags, their grade versus the Texans, Titans, Colts, let's get another that.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I got to arm RJ with a taps sounder that he can occasionally put out there when things like this happen. But the Darvin Ham era in L.A., in La La Land, is officially over. He's been canned by LeBron, if I'm reading the press release correctly.
Of course he was.
And honestly, it cracks me up. What the hell did Darvin Ham do to cost this basketball team?
No, listen to LeBron's instructions and get canned for it.
I mean, it's not unlike Magic Johnson or Michael Jordan. They did the same thing with coaches.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, but one particular point is it not the coach's fault. I mean, where's the ownership of the players? The Lakers have been
nothing's ever LeBron's
I'm just saying
fault.
the Lakers have been underachieving for a while now.
And look, I like Darvin Ham when he came in because he represented a defensive side of the football, defensive side of the basketball, which they did play better the years that he was there. But at the same time, when they needed it the most, Anthony Davis played his fanny off defensively, was really balling, and LeBron still defends to a very high level, as old as he is. I don't care what anybody says, he still does. But at the same time, you need more guys making plays. You need more guys making big moments happen at the end of games. That ain't Darvin Ham's problem. That's players' problem. By the way, this is the quote. I don't know whether LeBron wrote this or not, Leon. This is from the Lakers. We greatly appreciate Devin's efforts on behalf of the Lakers and recognize the many accomplishments achieved over the past 2 seasons, including last year's remarkable run at the Western Conference Finals. That is from Rob Pelinka. So there you go. Yeah, whatever.
Well, whatever.
By the way, the betting odds.
I'm still sour.
Yeah, the betting odds. They already have a few names that are out there, but a long shot to be head coaching the Los Angeles Lakers in 2025-26 would include J.J. Redick as a long shot possibility or candidate. RJ, you gave me Tyronn Lue, who, of course, would come in with LBJ's stamp of approval, correct. Who else did you give me?
The other names are Mike Budenholzer, who was recently fired.
He's a quality candidate.
Recently fired by the Bucks. Kenny Atkinson, longtime head coach of the Brooklyn Nets, now an assistant coach with the Golden State Warriors. And as you said, J.J. Redick and Ty Lue are kind of the names that are being circled around right now, according to Shams Charania.
Yeah, and you know, Lue has coached them before to success, but we all know. I mean, come on.
Yeah. But J.J. Redick would be just social media gold.
It would be.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It would be. And by the way, I'm not minimizing what they do because I do think they do a good job. They need to understand the flow of the game, the bench, everything, changing things up defensively, offensively, knowing where the hot hand is, all that stuff. It is a big deal. You can say skippers in baseball don't do as much, and I could probably agree with you a little bit, but you could say basically the same thing about a head coach in hoops, that's for sure. Here's Charles Barkley. Do you have the Charles Barkley soundbite, RJ? Because this one cracks me up, and this is Chuck chiming in as he does so eloquently about the idea that running a head coach out will solve a problem on an NBA team.
Also, you said you wanted to say something about coaching.
Yeah, part of our job, we watch all the games and we watch all the talk shows. You know, a lot of these people on television, they're cowards because they want the players to like them. They don't want to do their job, which is to tell the truth. And I just want to say this about coaching. Anybody who thinks the reason the Lakers suck is because of Darvin Ham or the reason the Suns suck is because of Frank Vogel, you don't know what you're talking about. Frank Vogel is a hell of a coach. Darvin Ham is a hell of a coach trying to get his career started. But for all you punks, idiots, and jackasses on other networks who want to be media and who want all the players to like y'all, do your damn job. The Lakers suck, and the Suns suck because of the players. Has nothing to do with the coaches.
I totally agree. It's about player execution, player accountability, bro. The coach is there to give you the game plan and inspire you. I ain't really need a coach to inspire me. I love the game of football. I wanted to be out there to play hard and execute and hold myself accountable. At some particular point, the players have got to. They've got to hold the responsibilities of their play.
Yeah.
I understand that, and I agree with you 100%. We were talking about this yesterday. We were talking about this. It's the psychology of the player. But at some point, as the coach, don't you also have to lean in a little bit to, look, these guys aren't changing. This is who they are. And you've got to find a happy medium, right?
Okay, but think about this. The second half of the season, they got on a little bit of a roll. They
did.
Look, this has not been a good franchise for the last 2 or 3. They were able to make it to the Western Conference Finals last year, like we were talking about.
Yeah, but here,
you know what I mean?
I told you, coaches lean on teams when they feel like they have to, but. The culture of the locker room is the players.
Right.
I talked about this team last year.
When
they crumble down the stretch.
Yeah.
I said the reason why they crumble down the stretch is because of lack of culture and leadership in that locker room. And it goes for basketball too. There's something in there in that locker room that's not hitting home with all the other players. AD and LeBron, they play their butts off, but their help, their bench, and all that kind of stuff that's where they struggle. I mean, they need more. Once again, I know LeBron needs more help.
Well,
does he need more help, or does he need to be more of a leader?
Oh my gosh, he is a leader. He might manipulate a few things in that leadership
this guy
position.
here who plays pro sports is telling me there's something wrong with that locker room.
There is. It's just like
the culture.
You know what I would blame it on? Honestly, I go from forget about the head coach because the coach, if you give him good players, he can coach the hell out of them. I go to Rob Pelinka. And he needs to man up with LeBron and say, LeBron, we ain't winning nothing else if we keep bringing these scrubs in. The one thing that LeBron, I do think, is at fault at, by and large, is he would bring his buds in, or he'd bring in guys that were a lower cap figure, and he gets to keep making his money. He gets to stay in control. You can criticize him for that.
They have 2 of the top 8 players in the league right now.
Okay, well, take a look at some of the other ones that have 2 of the top 8 players that aren't playing right now. Okay? Look,
all right, so all I'm saying is you can't just say, well, other people do it and they stink. What does that mean? Worry about you. You have 2 of the top 8 players.
I totally get that. Here's another example. Last night, Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey.
By the way, I don't think there are other teams that have 2 of the top 8 that are not in the playoffs anymore.
Well,
that's another story for another time. Look at Matty's short hair.
Listen, that's my Corona cat, Matt. It's just beautifully groomed. Beautifully groomed. And he had the flowing locks. He had the flowing gray locks like he was Joe Walsh, and then he just mowed it all off. All right, so anyway, like if you take a look, the Milwaukee Bucks are an absolute disaster. Now, that's through injury, but at the same time, they had Giannis. They had a title, and they go and get Dame. I mean, there are teams everywhere trying to figure out what to do. Look at what Jalen Brunson.
Dame has slid way down.
I don't
that
care.
Top list,
up until this past year, you're going to tell me Dame wasn't good last year?
No, but he's not like Dame is not one of the 8 best players in the league.
Oh my gosh! All right, all I know is that AD and LeBron had pretty damn good seasons, and there were.
Is Dame one of the best 8 players in the league?
Probably not.
RJ, is Dame one of the best 8 players in the league?
I mean, it's been a while since I could say he's one of the top 10 best players in the league.
Sure, I totally get that part of it. But they already had, when they did win, it was Drew, it was Middleton. They were doing whatever they could, and then when they said goodbye to one of them, they brought another one in. And Dame, at the very least, had an opportunity to come in there and add some of that extra quality from around the arc. I love that part of it. But anyway,
you got to put your guys' feet to the fire a little bit, man. Put LeBron's feet to the fire. Put AD's feet to the fire a little bit.
I have no problem saying that he needs to deliver. AD needs to deliver. Anthony Davis was healthier this year and played more this year. Okay, but he still needs to deliver. Okay, look at what Joel Embiid did last night. Did you guys see what he did? Mm-hmm. Okay, he played his fanny off, and basically he was Like Tiger, they said Tiger won on one leg when he won the U.S. Open. Joel Embiid was basically operating on one leg for this series. Still played his fanny off, and no one else really did because Tyrese Maxey did not have a particularly good
everything.
game
Bad
last
eye,
night.
bad knee.
He did all, and by the way,
migraines.
You want to know why he did that?
It's like a pirate.
You want to know why he did that? Because he had been criticized over and over and over about not being available, about not being big in big moments. And so, I mean, look, they are all – you can lob criticism at a bunch of them, but you still got to look at it and go, okay, what's the sum total? The teams that are playing on are the teams that are much deeper, and boy, do they got a lot of good shooters. And it just seems to me there wasn't anybody that stepped up last night for Philly beyond those two, and there hasn't been enough guys stepping up beyond the two for the Lakers. And the Lakers led 75% of those series. No, I cannot have a Corona premiere yet. Okay, I cannot. Okay, I got to wait until 4 o'clock. Yeah. We're on YouTube, Maddie. We're on YouTube. All right, let's keep it rolling. We're talking draft when we get back. It is XL Primetime. We are at Cinco de Mayo Restaurant, which is a real easy place to find, kind of the corner restaurant in the big strip plaza, 13170 Atlantic Boulevard, right behind the BK and one of the banks. You can come on in. We got patio dining, got inside. And basically what you do need to know is if you don't make it now, just party here at Cinco de Mayo for Cinco de Mayo, either tonight, tomorrow, or Sunday, because they got plenty of great grub, plenty of specials, including Corona Premier Buckets. It is XL Primetime giving you a chance to win Dave Matthews Band tickets, so drop on by and register.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers. Your home for Florida Gators baseball is 1010XL.
The series against third-ranked Tennessee continues in the Swamp tonight and Saturday night on 1010 AM.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Hey sports fans, this is Hayes Carlyon for QC Kinetics. This is the absolute worst time of the year to be dealing with joint pain. You can't do all the outdoor stuff you love to do, hiking, jogging, biking, playing on the beach. Don't go through summer missing out on life. Call QC Kinetics now and find out how they can use biologics from your own body to give new life to your achy joints. You gotta call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 904-274-5522, serving the Jacksonville area with locations in Mandarin and Ponte Vedra Beach. Again, this is the future of medicine. Tens of thousands of QC Kinetics patients around the country are living their best life this year because they made the call. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. Revolutionary treatments for joint pain are here. Again, Mandarin and Ponte Vedra Beach. Call QC Kinetics now, 904-274-5522. That's QC Kinetics.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and summer's here on the First Coast. You know, long days, short sleeves, lazy summer afternoons, and soaring temperatures that can do a number on your AC. But do what I did and plan ahead with an expert AC tune-up from Fenwick Home Services to avoid those costly summer breakdowns. If you've heard me say this once, you've heard it 1,000 times. Hope is not a plan. That's why Fenwick Home Services has you covered with same-day service, including maintenance plans, free same-day estimates, and guaranteed repairs. Expert technicians you can trust will keep you and your family cool and comfortable all year long and help you breathe easier and avoid costly breakdowns. Call day or night, 24/7, and Fenwick certified technicians will get the job done and get it done right the first time. Fenwick has the best trained technicians in the business, and they know how to get the most out of your AC unit. Book your expert tune-up today and avoid costly breakdowns tomorrow. Plan ahead instead of hoping for the best. Online at FenwickHomeservices.com. That's FenwickHomeservices.com.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 5-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now graduate making over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or no student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost are the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org, and you can apply there.
Apply by May 23rd.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, presented by FIS, is home this weekend at 1-to-1 Financial Ballpark. Today at 1:05 is Red Shirt Friday. Tomorrow is another day game. The first 2,000 fans get Jumbo Shrimp bucket hats, courtesy of Miller Electric. Then it's Baptist Health Sunday Family Fun Day. Log on to jackshrimp.com. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball. Affordable, family fun.
Attention golfing fans, Leon Searcy here. The Smoking Aces of Jacksonville are presenting my celebrity golf tournament at Queens Harbor Golf and Country Club June 14th. Tee time is at 9 a.m. Along with myself, we've got celebrity NFL, NBA, and former boxing champions who will be in attendance. Go to SmokingAcesJacksonville.com to register or become a sponsor. SmokingAcesJacksonville.com. The big fella will be there.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On May 3rd, 1979, MLB Cleveland Indian Bobby Bonds hits his 300th home run, making him second to have 300 home runs and 300 stolen bases.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's a big hair, heavy metal Friday on XL Primetime.
Beautiful day. I'm telling you what, if you're outside, it is absolutely gorgeous. It's what you want. If you live... Like, occasionally I accuse the state of Florida as being the unshine state, but we have been treated to some beautiful sunshine over the last handful of days, and you cannot go wrong as we go into the Cinco de Mayo weekend because we are hanging out Tres de Mayo with Corona, with the Cinco de Mayo restaurant right here on Atlantic Boulevard, and I'm looking, come on with your forecast. Sometimes whenever you want something to happen instantly, which is what we want in our world, we want everything to be right there, right then and now. Anyway, we got a high of 87 today, high of 86 tomorrow as I play the Beatenbaugh on XL Primetime. Slight chance of rain, high of 87 on Sunday, Leon.
Yeah.
Will you be strolling and trolling on
I'll be
Sunday?
somewhere sunbathing, yeah.
Yeah, Cinco de Mayo?
Yeah,
you're going to be sunbathing, all right.
Absolutely.
All right, Coach Campo got a big laugh out of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got to tell the people out there what just happened, man. We just had a Texan fan roll up on us, man.
Yeah, he said he had
trying to ruffle some feathers, man.
He said he had a big tattoo of a
Texan's tattoo on his back.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know about that, man.
I don't know. I got, I felt uncomfortable.
I thought you were going to bow up on it.
I did, man. I was going to square off a little bit, man.
You
don't roll up on me like that talking mess.
Yeah, you should.
See, that's what happens. See, Jaguars,
Yeah.
that's what happens when you lose the division. You got
One year.
Texans.
One bad year.
One bad year. You got fans rolling up on us.
And by the way, Coach, you could tell them, as we say hello to you, they had one good year, okay?
Yeah, listen,
One.
listen. I'm not even worried about the Texans. I'm worried about the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's true.
Put it that way.
Spoken
It
like
is
a
true.
true coach, man.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not.
You can only control what you can control, Coach.
Absolutely. I never worried about anybody that went to the other team. I was worried about the guys that came to us because you're going to see them every day. Those guys you're only going to see once, twice, maybe 3 times during the season.
All right, so we're going to talk draft with our head coach. We're going to get into it, but I'm gonna like deviate from the Jaguar talk just for a second. Keep it on the draft as I do a little Corona call it.
He's going to drain it. It all comes down to this.
Oh! How did you call that?
Game recognized game.
All right, that's Eli and Mello sitting courtside, and they know game recognizes game. So let's see if we can call it right here with our little Corona call it. We need the correct answer for you to get a little recognition. And Corona, you can always count on Delicious Corona Premier. You can get any one of them. The Corona Extras, they are all outstanding. If you're watching the calories, kind of keep an eye on the waistline, you can definitely go for Corona Premier. Outstanding, that's for sure. Now, I mentioned to you guys earlier this week that the Florida Gators had a distinction in the draft of only sending one player into the NFL courtesy of the draft this year. One. That is it. Now, thankfully, it was Ricky Pearsall who went in the first round, but the only Gator to go in the draft. That's Augie Bush, the fourth there coming in, saying hello. The only Gator to go in the draft. And that matched the efforts of, what were some of the schools? Findlay, if I recall.
Findlay.
And a few other ones
in Ohio, by the way.
that sent one player into the draft. All right. It's not been since 1980 that Florida had one player drafted. Who was the last player that was the guy to represent the University of Florida in that draft class? 1980.
80. Wow. Lomas
Brown. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, maybe Lomas. I'm saying Lomas Brown.
It's an excellent guess.
Lomas was the first
I'm trying
round
to
pick,
think of that
wasn't he?
team.
One first round, wasn't he?
It wasn't like James Jones, was it? No, it couldn't have been James Jones. What am I saying? Lomas Brown. I'm going Lomas Brown.
You going to go with Lomas?
Yeah.
Now, remember.
Wilbur Moss? No, not Wilbur Moss.
No.
Wilbur came later.
Yeah.
But remember, Lomas played 18 seasons in the National Football League. I'm just looking to see when he was actually drafted. Bottom line is, it ain't Lomas.
So it wasn't someone from that Great Wall.
Yeah, because that was the Great Wall of Florida. I was just looking back to see the year he was drafted. It seemed like it might have been 82, something like that.
Defense, maybe?
But I'll find him here in one second.
Like Tony Lilly, was it?
All right, so I asked a few Gators this question, and it is kind of hard to go back in your Gator
Can you
brain
give us a position?
and remember. I'll say defense. I mean, if you want me to – listen, if we got to go with hack rules where I got to keep giving you information until
These
you get
guys
it right.
need a lot of help.
Yeah, I'll go with Tony Lilly.
Yeah, all right, good
I don't
guess.
know that many Gators.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
I don't either. I don't like them.
All right,
All right, give it up. Let's hear it.
Let's see here. 1985 is when Lomas came into the league. So he was part of the Great Wall of Florida in 84. So anyway, 1980, the last time the Florida Gators only had one player drafted, and it was Scott Brantley. I'm surprised you did not remember his name.
Should've.
Scott Brantley, one of the great linebackers at the University of Florida.
Yeah.
Seriously. And the reason why they probably only have one is because the year before they went 0-10-1. Okay? That is the primary reason why they only had one drafted that year. All right, so a Corona call it. You guys didn't call it, but we'll have another one coming up in the 3 o'clock hour. Let's say hello to head coach Dave Campo coming up here in a second with his thoughts of the draft. We rattled off the AFC South. The Texans, the Colts, the Titans, and the grades. BBB. Jacksonville got an A, at least according to the guys at NFL media that put it together. But we'll get back into that You can drop on by Cinco de Mayo. We are celebrating on a Friday, Tres de Mayo, with Corona. You got a chance to win Dave Matthews Band tickets for their concert at the end of the month, May 29th at Daly's Place. So come on by, put your name in the hat, and see if you can walk away with those tickets.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. The thrill of victory, the agony of defeat. That's why we're here.
It's like you said, it's all hard.
1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
What makes a Honda certified pre-owned vehicle so special? 182-point inspection, 24/7 roadside assistance, first-year free oil changes, and a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty for carefree driving backed by American Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
I'm Taylor Rose with our Remedy Staffing Westside office off of Normandy Boulevard. We are helping great people find great jobs. Remedy has helped some of the best employers in Jacksonville find talented job seekers like you for over 25 years. Our current job openings range from entry-level distribution center pickers to equipment operators. Apply today at remedygoodjobs.com. Don't wait. Apply at remedygoodjobs.com now.
When my wrist pain was acting up and I needed help, I took Dan Hickens' advice and headed over to see the experts at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. This is Stuart Moore with the PGA Tour. I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Whenever you have a need, they took great care of me. They'll take great care of you.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy. The next time you need orthopedic care, you can rely on our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Electricians, innovators, and tech enthusiasts, listen up. Miller Electric is shaping the future, and we want you to be a part of it. From healthcare and data centers, corporate offices, aviation, and industrial facilities, Miller Electric is powering the most exciting projects in Jacksonville and beyond. We offer not just a job, but a thrilling career with great pay and incredible benefits. Visit us at millercareers.com to apply. Miller Electric, where your skills meet our vision, and equal opportunity employer.
Mia here. The NBA playoffs are heating up, and it's the perfect time to elevate your game with MyBookie. With MyBookie, you can bet from anywhere, anytime, so you never miss a shot to cash in on a play. You can even live stream and bet on the games right from the sportsbook, giving you everything you'll need to decide, cash out or let it ride. MyBookie really makes it easy to get paid with tons of boosted props and slam dunk parlays. And new boosts are now posted on the daily. It's more than just a sportsbook. Buzzer beaters, underdog upsets, and a community to share in all of the sweats. Give yourself a head start today and play with house money using promo code 1010XL when you make your first deposit. That's promo code 1010XL to claim a limited time bonus when you sign up and make your first deposit. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie.
Are you having constant issues with drains backing up? Have you wasted money on plumbers that can't resolve your problems? We're Duck Duck Rooter, and we have the solution. We'll come out to your home or business, identify your problem, and make the repairs once and for all. From visual camera inspections, hydrojetting, line replacements, our team of pros will get the job done right. Call now to schedule service and relax. 904-862-6769. Financing is available. DuckDuckRooter.com, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
For any urological concerns, let Ackerman Urology be your trusted partner in men's health. With offices from Amelia Island to World Golf Village, they treat bladder conditions, elevated PSAs, and ED. Visit AckermanUrology.com.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Kuhn Flowers. The long-term future of Kirby Smart is secure at the University of Georgia. Late Thursday afternoon, the University of Georgia approved a new 10-year, $130 million contract for Kirby Smart, making him the highest-paid college football coach in the country. The new deal for Kirby Smart at Georgia runs through the 2033 season. Florida baseball was rained out last night in Gainesville. They will play a doubleheader against Tennessee this afternoon. First pitch coming up in just a moment at 3 o'clock on 1010 a.m. It's 88 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. XL Primetime's Coach Dave Campo is brought to you by Bold City Heating and Air. Online at boldcityac.com. It's a big hair, heavy metal Friday on XL Primetime.
You got her open for our coach. Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable.
You're pointing to 2 plates of nachos is what you're pointing at.
If you're on
Cinco de
if you're on
Mayo, come on over.
If you're on the YouTube stream, the digital, what's the name again?
It's the MyBookie Digital Studio. So you can
sorry.
see these 2 beautiful trays of nachos. And did we go?
There's no nothing. It's like it's everything. It's shrimp, chicken, steak. It's all of it.
Unbelievable.
Okay, that is beautiful.
By the way, all that protein, Coach. Awake 180 positive.
I was going to ask you that, man.
I actually looked up Awaken 180 today.
Yeah? Good for
Check
you.
it out.
Good for you.
Yeah, I like it.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because I'm about 20 over still.
Uh-huh.
I got to get back to my playing weight, like 170, 165.
How about that cross-branding for you right there, right?
Yeah, I'm almost there, Coach.
All right, that's awesome.
360.
He ain't getting down to 170. He's just getting down to his playing weight.
No, playing weight's 305. I'm about 10 pounds away.
There you go.
Now, RJ back at headquarters, fired off Queens of the Stone Age. One of the acts at Welcome to Rockville with our Big Hair Heavy Metal Friday. And Welcome to Rockville's coming up next week, the 9th through the 12th. You have got 4 days of rock and roll, which includes so many great acts. And they will be 4 days with headliners, all the different stages that will be going on down at Daytona International Speedway. And we have got 4 general admission passes to give away. We're going to give away a pair right now as we celebrate Welcome to Rockville. 641-1010 RJ, Queens of the Stone Age. You will take caller number 4 and give out a pair of those 4-day passes to Welcome to Rockville. It is XL Primetime. Joe C., Matty Hayes, Big Sirs, Coach Campo, as we are all hanging out. We say thanks to Corona. They definitely have put together a party throughout all of Jacksonville. I can guarantee you that. So order up a cold Corona Extra, Corona Premier, whatever you enjoy when you're celebrating Tres de Mayo, Cuatro de Mayo, Cinco de Mayo.
What if Modelo Matty walked out with a Pacifico that looked like the coldest beer I'd ever seen in my life, actually?
Yeah, it's cold. It's cold. Again, I need you guys to stay on the one brand, okay? On the one brand, because Corona is picking this up, okay? But then Matt goes and he just starts throwing in, and I love Pacifico, and I love Modelo.
So does Matty.
I know that.
Modelo Matty's
But
drinking it.
They're all his brands. I'm just trying to scream the Corona at the top of my lungs.
In fact, I
that's
see
for
this
sure.
gigantic ad on the window
Oh, yeah,
here
it's got Pacifico
for Pacifico.
Right here. See that Pacifico Clara neon? That's one of the ones that I got a dream of having inside the sports lounge with the big blue Marlin right there.
I'll get that for you.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely dreaming about that.
I got you covered there. Okay.
All right, so, Coach, we get you going on the show, talk a little bit about the Jags, talk a little bit about the draft, and this is something we might have touched on Tuesday when they decided to pick up the options with Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne. Not so much that, but the number of fifth-year options that weren't picked up. Now, you know the 4 quarterbacks that were in that draft class with Trevor, none of them were picked up by their own team or their future team.
Yeah, well, first of all, I think, unless you're the other guys we're talking about that we brought in that have not gotten their have picked up.
Right.
There's a number of reasons for that. I mean, you can't pick up everybody. You got to have some availability in the next draft and all those kind of things. So, to me, I think they picked up the 2 most important ones. Mm-hmm. I think the running back and the quarterback obviously are number 1. And I think, there are some other guys that are pretty good players, but I think they did the right thing.
you start looking at the guys that did get their options picked up, and it's pretty obvious it's going to be guys that either at extremely important positions, guys that got the job done. But just to roll through them real quick, and this is a guy that hasn't necessarily gotten everything done that he should have, but he's not necessarily had a whole lot of good around him. Kyle Pitts, tight end for Atlanta. He had his fifth-year option picked up. They now have at least one quarterback, maybe two quarterbacks that are going to have a say in their season with Kirk Cousins' acquisition with the drafting of Michael Penix. Bottom line is Kyle Pitts has his picked up, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Penei Sewell, J.C. Horn, Pat Surtain, Devonta Smith.
A lot of big contracts coming for these guys.
Oh, my gosh. Devonta just got his big deal. And so
Micah Parsons.
Yeah, Micah Parsons, Rashawn Slater, Elijah Vera Tucker, Jalen Phillips, who is hurt down there in Miami, but at least they were able to pick up the option on him. Greg Newsome, Gregory Rousseau, former Kane, Kwity Paye. I'm a little surprised by that.
Yeah, that one surprises me.
What did you think about that one? Because he's been okay.
Yeah, he's okay. I mean, but
he's healthy.
Some
he's
of it
good.
is what. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was going to say. It depends on what he's going to do, not what he's done in a lot of ways. If they feel real good about where he's at, that's how they make that move, I think.
Now, when you think of the AFC South and you heard the rundown of the draft choices, and there were some high grades, at least NFL media was kind of most of the AFC South, B+, B+, B-, whatever it was, and then an A- for the Jaguars. So at the very least, NFL media, it's like some people, a lot of people have panned it for maybe Jacksonville looking a little desperate with that second-round pick, with that third-round pick. What did you think of the way they graded the AFC South?
Well, first of all, I think if you're looking at the Jaguars did what they had to do. And I think that's the important thing. When you look at that draft class, you're looking at guys that have high upside and almost all the way down through. I mean, you could go to the last one, the seventh-round pick. As an edge rusher, that guy's got some future ability. This is the first one I've seen where I don't think there was a guy in there where you just say, why did they take him? Now, a guy like Mason Smith, you look at him and you say, hey, why did you reach a little bit, because of where he is in relationship to where he was. But injury plays a factor there. So when I look at that, I say, hey, wait a minute, though. That's a position of need. Those two defensive linemen are big for us because, number one, if you look at those two guys, I watched a little bit more tape on both those guys, Jefferson and Mason Smith.
Right.
Let's say Mason Smith doesn't become the athlete that he was as his first year with LSU. Those two guys are big dudes. They can play the run. They're physical up front, both of those guys. Okay. And that's something that we really need here to give the chance to stop the run, and let's make guys throw the football on us.
So would you say the fourth-round pick almost as important as the second-round pick?
Absolutely. He's probably
because
a nose guard.
He plays the nose.
Yeah.
That was my point.
Hey, listen, this guy's a physical dude. So, to me, I think that you can go down the line. Does Foster have an upside? You saw the offensive line.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, he's got an upside, and does he have to be right now? No, but all of those guys – all the way down the line, including the kicker. I'm not sure he can't beat out the guy we got, Riley Patterson. So I like the draft. I can see why they gave it an A-.
Right.
And that's where it sits with me.
Now, Coach, both those guys from LSU guys are both big body guys, right? 6'6", 6'7", whatever. Any concern that they came from a college where they gave up a bunch of yards rushing the ball and passing? Any concern that LSU last year was just atrocious as far as defending?
Next to last in the SEC.
Yeah, that's a great question, and my answer to that is I can only look from experience now. Matt House, who was the defensive coordinator, who's now the linebacker coach with the Jags, is an outstanding position coach. Okay? And that was his first coordinator opportunity with a big-time program. When I left the Cowboys, and I consider myself, and I don't brag, but I consider myself a pretty good – I thought I did a pretty darn good job in the NFL. When I went to Kansas, it was completely different. That first year, I was horrible. And I'll look at myself and I'll say, hey, look, I didn't do what I needed to do because the difference between that college offense and the NFL offense was night and day. Now, I think it's getting even more closely together than it was back then. But for me, that was a big learning experience, and I can see why a guy could come in and get overwhelmed a little bit with the college game because it's completely different. So when I look at it, I get the coordinator part out of there. All I know is Ed Ogeron brought the one kid in, and Ed is an outstanding defensive line coach.
He's the one who recruited him.
Yeah, and I was with him at Miami. I talked to him after the draft, and he said this kid could be in the top 5 if he comes back and does what he's supposed to do. And Nielsen, Pete Jenkins, who is a well-renowned technique defensive line coach, they had to bring him in.
He had LSU.
He had 6 different D-line coaches in his time there. So maybe they're excuses. I don't know. But I watched the kids on tape, and they both have talent. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, I want to follow what you're saying about Jordan Jefferson with the 10-10 take because, look, I could poke holes in the Mason Smith decision, but there's at least some logic behind him and Jordan Jefferson. So let's do that right now.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 tape. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pit masters since '68.
That's all you need to know. They smoke it slow and serve it fast. Check out any one of your area Sonny's all over the First Coast. The one thing we talked about during the entire draft process was that the interior defensive line was thin on numbers. So let me give you the number, and this would support at the very least what Trent Baalke was thinking about, what Ryan Nielsen was thinking about. You take a look at nose tackles available in this draft. The best available nose tackles, Tavondre Sweat went in the 2nd round, 38th overall. The next guy was McKinley Jackson out of A&M. He went 97th overall. The next nose was Jordan Jefferson.
Right.
And they got him in the 4th round with 116th selection in the draft. So honestly, if you just want to look at it like that and you say to yourself, that was the 3rd best nose tackle of the ones that were available, I think that makes a hell of a lot of sense in the 4th round. That's the 10-10 take. I want to give you the numbers on the defensive, the 3 technique, you call them defensive tackle, but that's the 10-10 take. I always look over to see what type of frown or expression Matt Hayes has. YouTube reacts to it quite well as
Go
well.
ahead, Leon.
No. Let's hear it.
So, first off, you're talking about guys who played the 1, okay, in college. When you start talking about guys that are nose tackles, Chris Jenkins absolutely can play nose tackle.
Yeah.
Okay, he was picked right after Mason Smith.
Right
after Mason Smith.
He
had a better college career than Mason Smith. Okay, he's healthy. The only knock he has against him, I think it's a gun charge. I'm not sure. It was some kind of charge against him at Michigan,
and that drops you.
Drops you. It absolutely drops you. But at some point, you got to say guys are allowed to make mistakes, right?
Yeah.
And in the NFL, you got players full of mistakes.
Yeah.
In that league.
Yeah.
And a lot of them shake it off and move forward.
Right.
So then it becomes, do you want to chance that, or is your chance a guy with an ACL injury?
Yeah.
So I understand why they picked Mason Smith because I've been saying this all along. As a freshman, he's a top 5 pick. Just not that way the next 2 years because of the injury. Okay.
Yep.
Chris Jenkins is there. There are other guys. If you look, you look at where do they pick? Where do they pick Jordan Jefferson?
116th. Because here's the other part that I'm thinking about is that you can say you can play a position, but Leon, are you big enough to play that position in the National Football League?
He's 6'3", 310, Chris Jenkins.
Yeah, I understand that. And 310s will get moved around on the nose. I promise you that, okay? I promise you that.
Well,
I mean, what's Jefferson? Same size.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Jefferson's same
size.
Well,
I know, but he was classified as a nose based on what he had done, as opposed to what you're saying this other guy could.
I guess my thing is I would rather take a chance on a guy that has a character risk than a guy that has an ACL risk. That's my thing.
So just as an example.
And again, that's philosophical. Is all that is.
And again, I'm just going off of NFL, and I'm not going to I don't know where their scouts put this together.
Right.
But they named Jordan Jefferson. There were only 3 nose tackles that they classified in this draft, and that was the 3rd nose tackle taken in the 4th round. As far as Chris Jenkins is concerned, he's listed, he was taken in the 2nd round, 49th pick overall. He's listed as the 6th best defensive tackle at that position. And so that's what it boils down to.
See, and I agree with Matt to a certain extent from the standpoint that anytime, first of all, anybody you pick in the draft is a concern.
Yeah.
You don't know what they're going to do.
Coin flip every time.
Right. But a guy with an injury, there are some guys, and Balky is one of them, that is kind of gravitates that.
He loves the guys with injuries.
Because he can see the upside. And when you're picking, if you have to feel pretty good about your team to take upside. That's how I look at it.
Okay. That's fair, yeah. That's absolutely
Rather
fair.
than, this guy did this, I'm going to take this guy because he did a little bit better. Sometimes you have to look at it and say, hey, look, this guy, if he hits, this is a big-time draft. And so, to me, that's why a guy like that is picked. And that's why I say Jefferson at his pick spot
at
was more of a, hey, I'm taking the guy that's done it here, as opposed to Mason Smith, where he was picked. But the upside of the Mason Smith is way higher than Jefferson, in my opinion.
It's higher than Chris Jenkins, too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There's no
That's
doubt
my
about
point.
it. But you're also
you're gambling.
You're hoping.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many times I have to say this. Hope is not a plan. It's just not.
I think it's more of a gamble than it is a hope.
Yeah, but at the same time, there's still
I think
right now.
the gamble, I think, is Chris Jenkins. You're gambling he's going to stay straight, which is
but if you got a good locker room, then character guys don't matter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah,
you can have a couple off the reservation.
Yeah. Sometimes you can have a little.
And it might be pretty good.
It might have a little thug life in you.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Nothing wrong.
Charles Haley, come on. Bring him on. I'm okay with all that. I'm not questioning the character part of it.
But let's just
and again, all I'm saying is, and this is really the bottom line, it's a philosophical decision.
Yes.
Their philosophical decision was, I'd rather take a chance on the guy with the injury.
Okay, but here's what we got to remind ourselves of: is that you get value if an injury knocks a player down,
right?
And you get value if you have a questionable pass that knocks a player down. Adonai Mitchell going to Indy 52nd is a good example of a guy who at least had some kind of character question that sent him down the draft board. You got to remember this: just because you had an injury and you got him at value doesn't mean he's going to be good.
Well,
and just because you had a character question and you got him at value doesn't mean he's going to be good.
Well, the other thing that sticks out to me is, I think, something that I mentioned on Tuesday, is that listening to, and it wasn't Bari, Dr. Bari.
Right.
It was another guy that one of the programs on 1010 had on, was a, what do you call it, orthopede guy.
Right.
He said that in this day and age, was it ACL, right? It's an ACL injury is not that big a deal.
Right, the PCL is worse.
The PCL
That's what we were
is
talking
worse.
about, right?
So it's not, it may be as big a gamble as we think it might be. I mean, that's how I look at it.
The PCL was one of the ones that Zay Jones had to deal with.
Not only that, I saw him last year, so
yeah.
Maybe he changes. That's all I'm saying. Maybe he's different.
And they said there's a difference between a year and another year. So
right.
I hope he does.
I'm going with my man Belky.
And hope is not a plan, but I hope he does. I hope he is a different player. Believe me, I do.
And again, it's not like this guy is out now when you say hope needs to come with that.
Right.
But he is graded out and played well enough, 4th-round pick. So we're not talking about a big reach or anything like that.
No, I was talking about Mason Smith.
Yeah.
No, Mason Smith.
So but I'll also say this though, and here's another thing: we were talking about offensive line the whole time. We were talking about and at the break too. Leon's still like, if something happens on the offensive line the first week, I'm going to be furious.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: we all want Cooper Hodges to be successful. He's a local kid, great kid. We'd love to see it happen.
Right.
Guess what? You're hoping there, too, that he comes back from injury.
You better believe it, dude. It's the same thing they did. Now, just to Matt's point, hope is not a plan with Ben Barch and DeJuan Smoot.
Right.
Those were significant contributors, one of them a starter.
Right.
This is a 2nd and a 4th-round pick.
Right.
And again, I'm saying 4th-round pick, not an injury question, but just a developmental question. Javon Foster, same thing you can say about him in the 4th round. That's when you take those guys.
Right, but I think we can all agree that those were god-awful decisions last year.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And then we all put question marks next to Mason Smith's name. All of us do.
I always reach back to Jimmy Johnson, and he always felt that the 2nd round is where you take a gamble if a guy had the ability to be a first-round pick.
Right.
And
would that be
which is what both those guys were?
It was a question mark.
Yeah. Would it be injury or character didn't matter?
Well,
just 2nd
character.
round.
Yeah, I think character drops a little bit more, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no doubt.
But still, I would say yes in answer to that question.
Let's just remember,
Both those guys are first-round guys.
Well, let's remember Randy Moss. It cost me probably my job that Jerry wouldn't take Randy Moss because of the White House and everything that went on with the Cowboys.
So Coach could still be coaching is what he said right there. All right, it's XL Primetime. We'll keep it rolling. Cinco de Mayo restaurant right here on Atlantic Boulevard. Come on by. You can make plans today, tonight, tomorrow, Sunday. They celebrate Cinco de Mayo throughout. You got Corona Premier. You can definitely order up one. And you can put a lime in it. I don't necessarily go with the lime all the time. TLD loves the lime, but I'm not anti-lime. I'm not an anti-dentite or anything like that. But I just like the beer without that lime. There have been people who have put limes in bad beer and they think it makes it better. It doesn't. It's still make sure you get your good beer. All right, Corona Premier, Corona Extra, whatever it might be. Celebrate Cinco de Mayo at Cinco de Mayo restaurant right here on Atlantic Boulevard.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. After work, crack open a cold one with Rick Ballou.
How's that beer tasting?
Like the first of many. Into the night.
Make yourselves at home, sweet home, boys.
Evenings on 1010XL.
I hear we're getting a new cappuccino machine.
Nimnick Chevrolet is Northeast Florida's Silverado truck headquarters. Frank Frangie here. With new shipments arriving daily, Nimnick Chevrolet has the best selection of Silverado trucks on the ground in town. Nimnick Chevrolet is conveniently located on the corner of Park and Cassett Avenue or online at nimnickchevy.com. Nimnick Chevrolet is family-owned and operated. No one cares more about their customers before and after the sale. That's Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, presented by FIS, is home this weekend at 1-1 Financial Ballpark. Today at 1:05 is Red Shirt Friday. Tomorrow is another day game. The first 2,000 fans get Jumbo Shrimp bucket hats, courtesy of Miller Electric. Then it's Baptist Health Sunday Family Fun Day. Log on to jackshrimp.com. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball. Affordable, family fun.
Frank Frangie here. Bono's Pit Barbecue is celebrating 75 years of serving up legendary barbecue on the First Coast. And right now, get to Bono's for the new loaded barbecue tater tots. That's smoked pulled pork on top of tater tots with melted cheddar cheese sauce. You won't find this anywhere else. 18 Bono's around town. There's always one nearby, and you can see all the locations at bonosbarbecue.com. Remember, the Bono's Barbecue Tater Tots right now at Bono's. And if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
The Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is now offering online scheduling for new patient appointments for all of their positions. Simply schedule your appointment on your cell phone, tablet, or desktop. JOI is the first orthopedic practice in North Florida to offer this feature to patients. To schedule your appointment online, visit joi.net and click on the button at the top of the page. If you'll be using insurance, be sure and have your information handy. JOI, where the pros go.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. We've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler for 47 years, and this Mother's Day, we'd like to help you celebrate Mom with up to 40% off our entire inventory. GIA certified diamonds, beautiful colored gemstones, designer brands, custom jewelry design, and Monahan Jewelers offers interest-free financing on any purchase, so get something special with a payment you can afford. Come celebrate Mom with fine jewelry at up to 40% off at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to carlsondentalgroup.com. That's carlsondentalgroup.com for all of your dental needs.
All Jags, all NFL.
Jaguars Today from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios.
Everything you need to know about your hometown team. Jaguars Today, every weekday from 10 to noon on 1010XL.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Mia here. The NBA playoffs are heating up, and it's the perfect time to elevate your game with MyBookie. With MyBookie, you can bet from anywhere, anytime, so you never miss a shot to cash in on a play. You can even live stream and bet on the games right from the sportsbook, giving you everything you'll need to decide, cash out or let it ride. MyBookie really makes it easy to get paid with tons of boosted props and slam dunk parlays. And new boosts are now posted on the daily. It's more than just a sportsbook. Buzzer beaters, underdog upsets, and a community to share in all of the sweats. Give yourself a head start today and play with house money using promo code 1010XL when you make your first deposit. That's promo code 1010XL to claim a limited time bonus when you sign up and make your first deposit. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie.
Have you tried golfing at the improved Cimarron Golf Club? If you haven't, tell you what, you're missing out on the best deal in Jacksonville. Now, many of you have received a postcard in the mail, and of course, if you bring that with you, $45 plus tax to play. That includes a cart, lunch, and a beer at the brand new Stone Barrel Tap House. Now, go to the website, that is CimarronGolfClub.com, and sign up for the Wild One Loyalty Program. That's the Wild One Loyalty Program, and get all of these specials emailed to you from Cimarron.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Pick it here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's a big hair, heavy metal Friday on XL Primetime.
Beautiful, beautiful afternoon here in the city of Jacksonville, all over Northeast Florida. You know you're loving it. The weather is outstanding, and you can definitely look forward to what is a great weekend. We're out here with Corona, Cinco de Mayo restaurant right here on Atlantic Boulevard. You can throw your name in the hat for the Dave Matthews Band tickets that Corona is giving away. That is May 29th at Daly's Place, so you definitely want to make plans to drop on by. But it's Cinco de Mayo weekend. It's also the first Saturday in May. They call it the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. And listen, I know something about exciting 2 minutes. Let's say hello to Dick Girardi, who joins us now. We always get my man Dick on to talk a little bit about the Kentucky Derby. Dick, welcome in. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing great. How about you?
We're doing outstanding. I mean, we're out on the patio. We're dishing on nachos and getting ready for some cold Coronas, so it's all good, that's for sure. Now, listen, if I have this right, you're talking about like the classic line is, your father was a mother, your mother was a mother, because they're talking about rain tomorrow at Churchill Downs. Bring us up to date on the weather before we start looking at the ponies.
Now, there was definitely some rain this morning. The track has been sloppy most of the day. I'm now being told that the rain should be a little bit in the morning, but should be cleared up by afternoon. So I think we should have a fast track by Derby time.
All right, we got Dick Girardi on the All-Pro Roofing phone line. Dick, give us a trifecta box for the race.
I'm not going to give you a box. I'm going to give you a cold trifecta. You just set these in order. You don't need a box.
All right.
Spend more money on the straight numbers. 17 Fierceness, 2 Sierra Leone, 7 Honor Marie. That's like 5-2 over 3-1 over 20-1, just like that. 17-2-7.
All right.
Cold.
And why? Why? Give us why.
17 Fierceness is by far the fastest horse in the race. Won the Florida Derby downstate by 13 lengths. He's done it 3 different races that none of these horses has ever run before. So if he comes back to his best races, he's going to win. It's just a question of how much he's going to win by. Now, he does have a little bit of a hole in his game. He's had 2 races that were just terrible when he didn't break out of the gate. But when he breaks out of the gate and he's out there where he's comfortable, he's just a stone killer. He's that talented. So I'm hoping that's the fierceness we see tomorrow. And I'll give you guys – I know you guys love prop bets, right? Everybody loves prop bets these days in sports and everything else. So BetOnline.ag has this great prop bet where it's about the margin of victory, over under 1.5 lengths. Like the winning horse has got to win by more than 1.5 lengths for over and less than for under. I love the over for a couple of reasons. Fierceness, when he wins by gigantic margin, 13 lengths in the Florida Derby. So I like that. I think he's going to win. And the good news is, even if he doesn't win, you still have the other 19 horses to win by 1.5 lengths. Any one of them wins by 1.5 lengths. You win the bet. It's an even money bet. So go to Bet Online, over 1.5 lengths as your margin of victory.
Now, Dick, I'm a fan of the underdog. You don't have any dark horses that could come up on the rear and kind of pull this thing off?
I do. I got some underdogs for you. I like Anna Marie a little bit. 7 horses, 20-1. I'll give you 2 other ones. The 3 Mystic Dan is also 20-1. And the 15 Domestic Product. Now, I don't particularly like his form, but he's ridden by Irad Ortiz, trained by Chad Brown. The best combination in horse racing, and you never get 30-1 on these 2 guys. So that's a possibility. So if you're looking for long shots, the 3, the 7, and the 15.
Yeah, you got me. So now, look, I don't know whether you're wrong or I'm wrong because we're agreeing on one thing. That Domestic Product definitely jumped out at me, even with a cold Corona in my hands. 28-1 long shot. I just like the name, gravitated to it. And then Mystic Dan is also kind of in the middle of the pack. So both of these guys might be able to line up. What do you think? Because I honestly, I do love those 2 as 2 good long shots.
Yeah, again, Domestic Product, there's no race that he's ever run that suggests he can win. But the combination of the jockey and trainer are so good that you at least have to give them some thought. Now, if they're 5-1, I wouldn't like them. But at 28 or 30, yeah, I mean, you give them a chance. And Mystic Dan is the only horse in this race, other than the favorite Fierceness, to run a triple-digit buyer speed figure. And he did it 2 races back. If he can come back to that race, he's got a chance. The question is, why did he run so poorly in the Arkansas Derby when he finished 3rd? But if he comes back to the previous race, he's got a shot. And again, you're getting 20, 25-1, whatever that final number is going to be. And you can lock in that number at Bet Online right now.
Hey, Dick, with Encino Scratch, at least 20 horses in the field. Is there such a thing as horses that run better in traffic? And if there is, which horses do?
Right. Not typically. Look, horses are creatures of habit. They like to be in a comfortable position, and there's nothing comfortable about a 20-horse field. They're just
kidding.
It's the only race all year in America that has more than 14 horses in it. Just happens to be our biggest race. So, yeah, you'd rather not have to do that, but in this case, you may have no choice. But, yeah, there's no horse running traffic. It's not the analogy I use, it's for us. If you're on an interstate that's bumper-to-bumper traffic, you're not real comfortable. You're on some country road where you're out there by yourself and the ocean's nearby. You're a lot more comfortable. Horses are the exact same way.
All right, real quick before we turn you loose, Todd Pletcher is one of my favorite trainers. He's the guy that you keep an eye on, and, of course, there are others that have come up. So what are his horses' chances, and then as far as somebody else, as far as an up-and-coming trainer that you got your eye on?
Right, so Todd Pletcher has Fierceness. He has the favorite. It's interesting. Todd has started 64 horses in the Derby. He has 2 wins. He's only been favored 1 time in history. That was Always Dreaming back in 2017, and he won. So Fierceness is going to be his 2nd time he's had a favorite, and that's what it's one of many reasons why I like him. Todd's obviously as good as it gets. So he's definitely live. Here's an up-and-coming trainer for you. The 7 is Honor Marie, I mentioned a few minutes ago, trained by Whit Beckman, who nobody's really heard of, but he's done a really nice job with this horse, and he's worked for some of the top trainers in the country. So it's not like he hasn't been in the right stables. He knows what he's doing. He's just finally getting a chance to have a good horse. So that might be your potential up-and-comer. Not only is he untested in this spot, as jockey is too, Ben Curtis, but you're getting 20-1 for the possibility of Honor Marie possibly winning, or in my case, hopefully being somewhere in the top 3.
Now, Dick, I'm looking at your celebrity list. I'm very impressed by the people that are going to be there on Saturday afternoon. I'm looking at Dougie Fresh, Bobby Brown. You going a little old school right there now. DMC, Run DMC. All right, you're talking my era now. with
Brothers
those guys.
in the house.
That's right. You're talking my era. Talking about on Saturday afternoon.
It's probably only second to the Super Bowl in big time A-list celebrities, and everybody loves to be at the Derby. And the amount of money you have to spend. I mean, it's become a rich person's event. And there's some of these seats for the day that go for like $10,000, and you see all the jets parked at the airport, which is a 5-minute ride away, and they're these 10-person jets, the Lear jets, and they're. But yeah, it's the scene, and you better bring some money if you're coming to Kentucky for the Derby.
I got one more. Smokey Robinson.
Oh, my man.
Smokey's going to be there, baby.
Smooth.
Smokey's in the house.
Smokey Smooth.
Hey,
Smokey Smooth.
You'll love this story. When I was a student at the University of Maryland, Smokey Robinson had a concert one night at the old Coliseum, and I went right up one stage. I was talking to him, and everybody, Smokey Robinson, don't get any better than that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's gangster old school, that's for sure. All right, Dick, we appreciate it. Dick Girardi, he's been covering horse racing with the Philadelphia News forever, and then on top of it, enjoy Saturday, enjoy the Kentucky Oaks as well. We appreciate it as always.
You got it. Thanks so much, guys.
All right, buddy. The 1.5 links, as he said, is a really good bet. Over under time is 2 minutes, 2 seconds. Like I said, the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. So 2:02 is the number. Wire-to-wire winner. You got like a plus 475 on that if you want to do it. So that's a good payday. It's just hard as hell to come out of those gates and stay out in front, top to bottom.
You got a winner?
I don't want to bet on the favorite. Fierceness is the favorite.
I like Sierra Leone.
So Sierra Leone
three?
is coming out of the two post, and it's a 33-10 choice. And so I do like Forever Young, I like Anna Marie, and I like Domestic Product. I may go with what do they do? Like it's got a little bit of a wheel to it where you just wheeling one other horse in there. Mystic Dance 25-1 choice. So
you're the gen, not me.
Well, that's 4 horses to finish in those top 3 spots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So do you like it?
Yeah. Let's bet it.
Yeah.
I like Domestic Product. When I was looking at the list of guys, that's the one.
25-1.
That's the one that jumped off the screen.
That's me at the track. Like when someone's going, all right, so it's like this, and this. You want to do it? Yeah. And I'm just like, yeah, let's bet it.
Yeah. As long you know what? Give me your card, right? And I'll go to the window.
And you guys are worried about the draft, gamble with a Mason
Yeah, but it's
Smith?
like I put in
man.
$10, he puts in $10, and you bet it, and you scream for 3 minutes. It's beautiful.
Give me your card, and I will go to the window, and we will make sure that we get our bets in. All right, it's going to be fun, that's for sure. Most exciting 2 minutes in sports. You guys have all had your share of exciting 2 minutes. Be truthful. So enjoy it tomorrow. Watch it. Live it. Love it as part of your Cinco de Mayo weekend. We're hanging out at Cinco de Mayo restaurant with Corona. You got a chance for Dave Matthew Band tickets to be given away. That's Daly's Place, May 29th. So you still got time to stop on by.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
You've probably heard the saying, it's not how hard you get hit, it's whether or not you get back up. Well, I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and I have a saying of my own. If you get hit with a personal injury or wrongful death, hit back and fight to make them pay. At Hastings Injury Law, we have the experience you want if you or a loved one suffer a car or trucking accident or wrongful death. Just call 904-HIT-BACK and we'll help you get up and hit back. Office is Jacksonville.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. There's a reason so many of my friends and our listeners have had Stanley Pools build their pools and now maintain their pools because Stanley Pools truly cares about their customers. Stanley Pools is locally owned and has been serving our community for 35 years. For all of your pool needs, call Stanley Pools at 269-7277. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools. 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com.
Imagine a complete one-stop shop for all your company's technology needs. A Jacksonville business who keeps their customer service local, so you never get outsourced to a distant call center. When your company is ready for faster support for managed IT services, voice-over IP phone systems, or access control, discover why so many business owners select Total Business Systems. Call 604-6900, 604-6900, or jacksitexperts.com.
Hey, I know we love our happy hours, but have you been to Mr. Chubby's Wings for lunch lately?
Yep, their new specials are awesome. I eat lunch there all the time.
I went this week and got wings, a drink, and chips for $8.
As usual, the best prices in town. You can't hardly find anyone doing $8 lunch anymore.
I know. I'm saving my money for the weekends with $8 lunch specials.
Save your money for the weekends. Enjoy $8 lunch specials Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. 3 locations serving you for all sports all year. Mr. Chubby's Wings, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
15,000 workers. I'm Brian Rose from Remedy Staffing. We survey 15,000 blue-collar workers each year to better understand what drives quality and dependability in our workforce. The survey shows when looking for a new job, the initial pay rate, job security, and safety while working are the most important factors for hourly workers. If you're an employer and would like to learn more about the voice of the blue-collar worker, please call us at 904-528-1933.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On May 3rd, 1979, MLB Cleveland Indian Bobby Bonds hits his 300th home run, making him second to have 300 home runs and 300 stolen bases.
Best Bet is number one. That's right. Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine have one-card poker, the fastest and easiest card game to learn and play. Play one card at a time, and the highest card wins even money. If the card values are the same, it's time for war. Just like the game you remember. You must be 18 years or older to play. More at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
This is Joe C. from XL Primetime and stoked to crank up the 9 after 5 once again at the Golf Club of Southampton. Every Wednesday, a little after 5, the gang at Southampton will be hosting us with a new game, and I'm inviting you to be a part of it. Now, through the summer stretch, break up the week with a little hump day fun every Wednesday. Call 287-PLAY to get on the tee sheet. There'll be food afterwards and prizes, including playing for a membership at the Golf Club of Southampton. Call 287-PLAY and hit the tee with Joe C.
Bueller Air Conditioning presents Are You Cool?
Today's challenger, a corporate management manager from Jacksonville, Florida. Meet Les Blankston.
Hi, Bob.
That is a remarkably beige suit there, Les. Tell us, why are you on the show?
Well, I just replaced my old air conditioner with a new one from Bueller, and I'm just so comfortable these days. I wondered, am I cool now?
Let's find out, Les. Go ahead and spin the wheel.
That's right, Les. By upgrading your old AC to a more energy-efficient model from Bueller Air Conditioning, you'll save money, save energy, and proudly show your family that you are cool.
Ooh, do you think I should get a mohawk?
Pace yourself, Les.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Come on, admit it. Almost everyone you know seems to be playing pickleball now, right? So whether you just want to learn how to play or you're ready to show off your elite pickleball skills, the Y is the place for you. Visit our brand new McGuire Family Pickleball Center at the Brown Family YMCA in Ponte Vedra Beach. 5 top quality outdoor courts and 3 amazing indoor courts where you can learn about dinks, dill ball, falafel, the kitchen, and more pickleball slang at the Y.
Spring has sprung. What a great time to get your house ready forever. Stop paying for exterior paint that doesn't protect your home or business. Rhino Shield's beautiful durable coating never chip, crack, or peel. By the way, they back it up with a 25-year warranty. No mold, no mildew, no algae, all while saving you thousands compared to the cost of repainting it. Right now, 0% financing, up to 25% off. Never been easier to paint your home with Rhino Shield. Book your free estimate today at rhinoshieldjacks.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's a big hair, heavy metal Friday on XL Primetime.
Oh, no.
All right, there it is. Okay, RJ, cranking some Offspring, just trying to get me fired up for a Friday, which I absolutely love. Big hair, heavy metal, and we've got Welcome to Rockville. It's happening next week. It's the 9th through the 12th. We're talking about a 4-day concert, people, and how about 4-day general admission passes? And so whenever I hear Offspring and any of those, like I told you all, that 90s into the O's, that's kind of my absolute 100% favorite, and love it. So you're going to be able to go down there and see Foo Fighters, Motley Crue, Slipknot. Jelly Roll is just huge right now. I don't know what he's going to sing in front of the headbangers, but he is all country these days. But you got Disturbed, Limp Bizkit, you got Greta Van Fleet, Stone Temple Pilots, all of them, and of course Offspring, one of my favorite. So RJ, this is your last pair of tickets. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, so 4-day general admission passes. I'm going to say caller number 6 at 641-1010. You get to haul in the last pair of Welcome to Rockville passes, courtesy of XL Primetime. Now, one of our dudes, as a matter of fact, a couple shout-outs. Young Cameron is listening right now. He's trying to break down the draft. He's sending in text upon text about his grades on the draft, and he really, really, really wanted to see an interior offensive lineman. So, Cam, I'm 100% with you on that one. And then also, Daniel just pulled off in one of the North Florida Sales beer trucks. And I'm telling you, RJ, you're going to have to get the shift whistle as one of our sounders, because these dudes are busting their humps to get that beer in those coolers and get them here ready to go. And he was dropping off some cold ones, getting ready for Cinco de Mayo. Shout out to Daniel and all those other NFS drivers. Who you got?
Oh, this morning I had to get my truck stop coffee, and Chipper. Chipper had a couple of dogs in his hand, said he was a big fan of the show. He told me to give him a shout-out, so shout out to Chipper.
It's so funny because I saw Chillin yesterday, who's one of our diehard listeners, okay? And Chillins, we're over here at the Publix on Southside, and I'm telling you, I go in there just to get something to get ready for work later, and what would take about 2 or 3 minutes took me probably about 20 or 30 minutes because I'm limping like it's just awful. And so Chillin walked past me. He's like, "Hey man, I hope you're better." I'm like, I said, "I need as much help as I can possibly get because it's taking me 10 times longer." But I had a little laser treatment earlier today.
You're just obstinate that you're not going to let it heal.
No.
You just as soon as you get any kind of a smell that you can run, you're moving. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. The older you get.
You're probably right, Coach. I'm on the hunt all the time. You're probably right. I push it way too much. All right.
My mama used to say a hard head make a soft behind.
I need to quit being so hard-headed when it comes to
soft ankle in this case.
Yeah, it is. It's soft. Listen, I don't mind telling you that I am soft. All right, real quick, I just want to stay on the Kentucky Derby, just as far as what is going to go on tomorrow. As far as Chad Brown is also one of the great trainers right now. And just to follow what Dick Girardi was talking about, the post time's going to be right before 7. Sierra Leone's one of the guys one of the horses that you love, Maddie, won the Bluegrass Stakes and one of the top 4 horses, 3-1 choice. So it's not like you're picking a long shot.
No, I knew I wasn't.
Yeah, this is pick and chalk, and it's a smart one. But
plus he's in 2. He's in the 2 position, almost the pole position.
Yeah, Chad Brown winless in 7 Kentucky Derby starts, but the other horse that Chad Brown has is Domestic Product, and that's the one that Leon and I are locked in on. So we'll see whether or not we get it done. All right, Coach, before we go back to what our conversation was with the draft, as we just kind of recenter here before the end of our show. All in all, the AFC South as a whole got decent grades.
Absolutely, and you've heard me say this before. I think the better the division is, the better we will be. And I heard Leon make the same statement earlier. There's no doubt that we felt back in the day when I was here in Jacksonville. We had a pretty good football team, and we were second. We never won the division.
And you had to go up against Peyton and company.
But then we go over there, and we whipped Pittsburgh, and we didn't quite get by New England both times. But, the better the competition is, the better you play. And that's really what
you live that too, right?
Coach is absolutely right. The preparation is more detailed. The intensity in practice is more intense. The focus.
Exactly.
Yeah. When I was here in Jacksonville, we had to play the Titans, the Ravens, the Steelers.
Yep.
I mean, we have no weeks off. I mean, some of our toughest games were right there within the division.
Yeah.
But guess what? We got tougher as a team, and we ended up beating those teams because we had so much adversity within the division.
You know, it's like the only team that was able to go through a soft division and keep winning was the Patriots, really, because they just kept beating. Miami wasn't very good. New York, Buffalo, none of them were very good. And then maybe anyone who wins the ACC. That was a shot.
Yeah.
That was a shot.
The All-Coast Conference.
Yes, the All-Coast Conference.
Hey, I was independent, so I don't know what you're talking
Okay,
about.
at the time you were independent, right?
Exactly.
Miami does not count. All right, listen, we're done. We got to say thanks to Corona. We're going to draw a winner. John Party will get in touch with our winner once we are done. But you are entered in the Dave Matthews Band giveaway courtesy of Corona. So thank you very much for dropping on by and putting your name in the hat. And we are having a good time today, tomorrow, and Sunday. Designated driver. Make sure you got a cold Corona and someone to drive you as we say thanks to them. Now, RJ, finish with our Friday anthem in the Big John Henderson shout-out. Joe C., Matty Hayes, Big Sirs, Coach Campo, John Party, thank you for hanging out and taking care of us here and making us look good. Thanks to Corona, Cinco de Mayo. And RJ, good job as always, man. Play it hard right now.
Come on, Joe. That ain't good enough. You gotta suck the blood out my mouth. Let's go, baby. Whoa!